What's up, my crafting friends? Welcome back to the X Crafter, where we're going to do another spray paint video. That's right, we're doing a little bit more spray paint art, and I'm going to try something a little bit different this time. I'm doing a poster board again. I'm doing an 11 by 14, and this time I'm going to be using the Jot brand. This is right here, Jot brand poster board from the Dollar Tree. Going to see how well it turns out and see how we can do things. Like I got a cat running around on my feet down here. See how well this poster board works out um, for doing projects such as this. And from what I can feel, it feels a little lighter weight than some of the other brands that I've seen out there, but it's still a photo quality style paper as far as the thickness of it, about the thickness of an average photograph. Now, this is 11 by 14, matte on one side, glossy on the other, and I will be using the glossy side. So let's get right into the painting and see what we come up with today. Let's let our imaginations flow. Here we go. All right, so I think I'm going to do this without any background music today. I'm going to adjust the camera here just a tad. Straighten it just a little bit here so you can see it straight on. All right, so I think I'm going to do this without any music today, and we're going to talk about what we're doing as we go along. So I got the wind blowing a little bit out here, so I'm hoping that doesn't really affect what I'm doing. So the first things we're going to do is we're going to decide where we're going to place our planet stencils onto our poster board. Now again, I'm using the Jot brand poster board. It's got a little bit of a gloss finish on this side, and the other side is a matte finish. So we're going to start off. Primary colors we're going to be using today is going to be white, black, what they call an island gold is a very light blue, almost a teal color, a yellow, which is called emoji, a yellow, and a with a twist, and this is a kind of a lime green type color, and I may add in a little bit of darker blues on this as well. I'm not really sure yet, but these are the primary colors that I'm going to go with and going to start with. So we're going to get this going and get deciding where we're going to begin. Now, we're going to play this one by ear. We're going to decide how we're going to do it. We may use a straight edge and do a mountain scene, maybe a little bit of reflections of water. I'm not sure yet, because this is going to be a brand new move in trying to figure this out. So let's get going and let's see where we are on this. So here we go. And we're going to place our stencils to where we want them. I think I'm going to put, you know what, I think we're going to actually go with one on this one, just one right in the middle, right about there. So we're just going to do one stencil today on this particular shot and start it right here and get going on that. So let's get a little bit going. Let's make sure the camera is adjusted just right for this. Make sure focus is just right on this. Now, like I said, it's windy today. So right now the wind has died down. I'm hoping that it'll stay that way. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off. We have our stencil down, and we're just going to put just a little bit around it. And that kind of gives us our idea of where we're going to put our planet, or in this case, probably a moon feature. Now, with the moon feature, I decided I'm going to bring in a little bit of an aluminum color, silver color, for our base color on this. And it's not going to be a full. We're going to add a little bit of black, a little bit of white. Give this a really good shake. And make sure that paint is well mixed. And we'll go ahead and be shaking up the white as well. Give them a really good shake here so that we can get a good coverage. Spray just a little bit off the edge. Make sure I got a good coverage here. Start laying down my colors. And now we're going to go over and we're going to add in some black Again, give this a good shake. I've already shaken these once. And just kind of like that. Nothing major. Add that white. Put a little bit more black. And we're going to layer just a tad more of the silver on there. And now I'm going to go back over that with the white. And now here's where the fun begins. I'm going to take a piece of this packing paper. It's this brown packing paper. You can actually get rolls of the brown shipping paper at places like Walmart, dollar stores. Most of them sell it. And this is where we begin. Decide which side I like the best. I like that side the best. Just place it down over. I'm going to lightly press it. And we're going to begin to add some texture to this. And I think I like that. So we're going to stick with that. Now, normally you would want to let this dry just a little bit before you put your stencil back on, but I think we'll be okay with it right now. I'll let it stay here for just a second while I gather up some more things, and we will be right back with a little bit more. Okay, we are still wet, but it'll be okay. Now, like I say, typically you want to let this dry really well before you place your stencil back. What would happen is the stencil will stick to the paint just a little bit as it's drying. But I think we're going to work with this pretty quick, so it's not going to make that big of a difference. We're going to place the stencil right back down, and we're putting it down lightly as well, so that's not going to make a big deal. Now, this is where the fun begins. Now we need to start laying out that night sky. And like I said, I was going to consider adding in some blue. So this is called inked. I-N-K-E-D, inked. We're going to ink it. Shake it up just a little bit. We're going to add just a little bit of blue. Now you see I'm starting to get some paint splatters. So what I'll do is I'll clean that nozzle just a little bit there. It's not going to make a big difference. Now this is the first time that I have used this particular poster board. I have used some of the others. So we're going to stop there and decide how we like that. I kind of like the way that lays out. I'm going to, I said I might change up some colors a little bit. And that's the thing about this. When you are doing this, I'm going to clean this nozzle just a little bit. When you're doing this and you're basically doing everything on the fly, I'm going to add a little bit of a red tint to this. And come back over that a little bit with a little bit more blue. And then lay down some more black. That way we've got a little bit of reddish blue tint in with that black. And this is where it gets interesting, because now we're going to add some stars to our background. Now you say, but you haven't finished that. You still have a lot on the bottom that's not done. And you are absolutely right. It is not finished. Now, like I said, I'm going to add in, this is the white. I'm going to add in that. And this is where the fun begins, because now we get to make a mess. So we're going to spray just a little bit of paint onto the inside of my fingertips here. Give it a little bit of a flick off of the canvas. And then just flick the paint onto the canvas, or in this case poster board, just like this, to add some stars to our night sky. All right, now you can add as many or as few stars as you like. It is completely up to the artist. I'm going to wipe off just a little bit of this excess paint. And now we're going to have a little bit of fun because we're going to come in and we're going to lay down. Now, I said this was going to be a new one for me. I have not done scenes like this. Hence the reason I'm using some cheaper poster board, a different style to see how it works, because I want to see how it's going to play out. We're just going to take and you said, well, now what is that? I mean, is that clouds? No, it's not going to be clouds. In fact, it is going to be if everything plays out the way I'm planning, it is going to be a mountain scene. Now, we're going to take and just place down our paper and pull back this here. This actually probably would have worked better if I had have used something like, I don't know, maybe a plastic bag. This is a new one for me, the very first time of doing this. I have not done this one at all. This is the very first time of even attempting mountain scenes. I'm going to put just a little bit more black on here. And guys, this is art. It is not meant to be absolutely perfect. It's not meant to be an exact interpretation. It's meant to be exactly what it is, art. All right. I'm going to put just a little bit more black down here. Now, I could have very well have painted this in with a paintbrush. Absolutely nothing wrong with doing that. Many spray paint artists do use paintbrushes and palette knives. And I may pull out my palette knives and try this again a different way and see how it goes. And you know, just like all art, I'm actually changing this as we go along. You say, well, what do you mean you're changing it as you go along? You're about to find out. This is the way art works. You come in with an idea and you don't change it as you go along. We're going to add a little bit of green to this because we're about to turn this into a galaxy. We're going to come back with a little bit of yellow. A little bit of the light blue or teal. And a little slight hit of red on there. And then come back with the black over that. And you said, but you're covering it up. What you just did. That is true. However, now we're going to come back. And as you'll notice, you can see that those colors are already starting to bleed through, and that's perfect. That's what we want. So now we're going to create a galaxy fill with this and get some of those other colors bleeding through. And we'll come back and we'll add some more stars to this as we go along. Now, we changed it. This was going to be a mountain scene, but I changed it up. So now we're going to come back. We're going to add some more black to the bottom of this. Now, this is the first time I have used a quick color paints for this. I know other artists have used it, and I've had really good luck with it. And the coverage is pretty good, so that works out. And you know what I think we're going to do? I think we're going to do this right here. We're going to add my white. Now you see I'm going to spray directly onto this and allow the overspray to go down. I'm going to wipe off some of the excess paint. Wipe onto the sides, okay. Turn it this way so you can see what I'm doing. Kind of get about midway of this. And again, I'll spray into this. Ooh, we had a little bit of a drop to go down. That's okay. I didn't wipe off quite enough paint, but that's okay. It's not going to hurt anything, because we're actually about to add a little bit of a star fill to this. Again, we'll spray the paint directly onto my fingertips. I can imagine being in the classroom when I was working at the school. I could almost imagine being in the classroom and having the students, especially in the art class, add just a little bit more color to that, mainly because I ended up putting just a little bit too much paint down there, and that's okay because this is part of the galaxy, easily fixed. All right. So this is what we have here. You know what I think I'm going to do? I'm going to add one more. Let me grab something to kind of clean off a little bit of the excess paint. I think we're going to add one more starburst. Let's see. I think we'll put one up here. Now that didn't go on too well, but it's okay. Clean that off just a little bit. There we go. That's a little bit better. Clean that off. And that is pretty much the way things work when you are doing art. I'm sorry if I'm getting a little bit off here. All right, now we're going to try something a little bit new. I'm going to place this right here. And I'm going to spray to the inside. Oh, I'm sorry about that. I hit the camera. Yeah, so we're going to try something a little bit new. We're going to spray to the inside of this ring here on one side, and then over on the other side. And that gives a glow effect around that seam. So this piece is finished. Is it perfect? No, it is art. And that is what art is. Art is not, I mean, it can be an interpretive art. It can be an exact art. Everything can be perfect in everything. But when you see little flaws, little mistakes, that makes it unique. That makes it something different, something that you're not going to find the exact duplicate everywhere. So let's reveal our moon. And there is our moon, our lone moon in the night galactic sky. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this one. And as always, if you are interested in any of my art pieces, you can find them on my Facebook page. The best way to contact me so that you can ask about any of my artwork or to see how it goes. So I'm going to pick this up, show it to you, let you see what it looks like, the finished product. And again, this was, I was working with new paints and working with new material as well. And it's also kind of hot and muggy out today. So that, the humidity can affect your painting. It can affect how you're doing things and how it's setting up, how it's going. So, like I say, art is exactly what it is. It's art. It is an artistic view. It's something that you look at. There may be flaws. There may be mistakes. You have a choice as the artist to completely start over or go with the flow. And that's the thing about art. You want it to be unique. You don't want it to be perfection is not what you're looking for. You're looking for artistic points, artistic views, little flaws, little mistakes, little little things such as this right here. You can see the slight little flaws, the little bit too much on the star field, but it's not that bad. So actually, overall, I'm actually pretty pleased with the way this turned out and everything. I'm going to allow this to dry, and I'll see about getting a frame for it and going from there. So I'll lay it back down over here. We're going to allow that to dry. And we're going to work on another piece. I may film it, I may not. It just depends. Right now, I'm going to take this one in, let it be drying, and then go from there. Now, like I say, it's pretty humid out here today. I mean, I am sticky. It is so hot out here right now. And that can make a huge impact on your painting. If you've done any type of painting, you know that humidity can make a big difference in how your paint behaves. Does it stick well? Does it, if you're working with spray paint, does it cause it to clump up? Does it cause it to be runny? Does it cause your overspray to act differently? So wind, humidity, the weather can play a big part. So when you are working outdoors, and if you know this channel was originally Extreme Outdoor Crafts, we changed it, shortened it to the X Crafter. So you know that, I do a lot of my things, especially in the spring, summer, and fall. I do a lot of my things outdoors. And painting, of course, because I do not have a dedicated paint booth or paint room to be able to work with and to be able to do my painting on the indoors because of ventilation, things like that. I hope to one day in the future be able to do that, maybe to be able to have a dedicated building, even if it's just a little small building with ventilation set up to maybe do painting in the future. It may be something to look at, but as of right now, this is where I'm at. I'm painting outdoors, so I have to work with what I have, and if the weather affects it, that affects a lot of things. So if it's very humid, that's going to affect my painting. If it's very cold or very cool out, it's going to affect my painting. If it's very hot, it can also affect my painting because it can affect the drying times and how things work. Now, a quick tip on painting with things like this: if it begins to dry quickly on this, you can go over it while it's still kind of wet with a clear coat. and that will bring the moistness back to it, allow you to do a wet on a wet technique. And if you watched any of my older videos from my original painting channel that I had, you know I worked with acrylic paints, and we did wet on wet painting, a Bob Ross style painting, where normally you'd use oil paints. And oil paints you can do wet on wet, and what that means is it allows you to blend your paint colors, and you're working with, you lay down one color that's wet, and then you come over with another color nearby, and be able to blend those colors together. Very similar with this while it's wet. While there's still a little bit of uh, um, wetness to the paint, you can add clear coat if it's beginning to dry, and that will allow you to continue to work with it. If I'm doing the textures and adding layers and then removing parts of those layers with paper, plastic, or whatever, in order to um, in order to get those textures or those different color blends. Uh, Clear coat is the way to go. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to comment below. Be sure to give this video a great big thumbs up. And hey, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button down below. It says right down below this video. Hit that subscribe button. Make sure you turn on notifications by clicking on the bell and ringing those notification bells to me, to you, rather. That way you'll know when I upload my next video. So be sure to subscribe and also share this video to all of your friends. Stay tuned, because you're going to see the finished product at the very end. Until next time, guys, stay crafty, and as always, have fun with what you're doing.